In this session, we are going to see about errors and exceptions. You all know about errors, right? So when you are writing any kind of program, some errors may occur. That may be of logical error or syntax error, anything like that. So in this session, what we are going to learn is what are the possible errors that can occur in the logic of our program. So in case if that error occurs means what we have to do. That is how the error has to be handled. So here we are going to see about what type of errors may occur. In case if that error occurs, how that should be intimated to the user. Okay, so that is dealt under the concept of exceptions. Okay, and how this error has to be handled. So that is also taken care by exceptions. Okay, so that is the thing that we are going to see in this session. So how to handle any unexpected error and how to debug that error by throwing the messages to the user. So once if error occurs, the message will be thrown to the user. This type of error occurs here. So the user automatically comes to know the type of error, and then he will take care how to handle that error. So the handling the error or correcting the error is nothing but a debugging capabilities. Okay. So again here for handling an error, there is a class called exceptions. There are some built-in routines or built-in classes that are already available in Python. Okay, so those classes are called exception classes. That is error handling classes. Exceptions are nothing but error event. When an error occurs means that is nothing but a particular event. Okay, so that event is said to be exception. So exception is an event or an object that represents the occurrence of an error. So there are some built-in functions already available based on this exception. So the base class for all exception is exception class. Okay. So this is the base class, and based on the type of error, there are already many exception classes that are available. So another one is stop iteration. So when this can be used means in this class there is a method called next. So when this next method try to read an object but it does not exist. Okay, so it will read the object one by one. So when it reads, it reaches the last. After that it cannot reach the, it cannot read the another object. So but if you are trying to read the object after reaching the last also, then the exception arises because you cannot read it right. So if the limit is reached but again you are trying to access one more object means, then the error comes. So this stop iteration exception will be thrown to the user as a message. Okay, so that is taken care by this exception class. And exit, in case if something happens when your program is running, automatically the system is getting shut down or some power failure occurs. So any abnormal event occurs means automatically the exit function is called and your program is terminated. So this kind of error is handled with the help of system exit exception class. Okay, then so there are so many error classes available based on the type of error. So we can handle that error with the help of these exception classes. So arithmetic error, and then overflow error, floating point error, zero division error. In case this zero division error when occurs means if your denominator is 0 means what will happen? If anything is divided by 0 means infinity comes, right? So that is in that case, we should not give like that because we cannot calculate. So in that case, it has to intimate the user the denominator should not be 0. Then the automatically user knows that and he will take care of that, the division. Okay. So based on the type of error, there are different already defined classes available in the Python. So each and everything, there are so many classes are there to handle the different type of error. You just go through this, you come to know that what type of error is this and how this error is handled. There are so many built-in classes available for exception. So next, we are going to see about what is assertion. So assertion means this is also one type of error. Okay. So when this assertion can be used means when you want to execute particular code based on certain condition. If this condition is satisfied, then the code has to be executed. If the condition is not satisfied, then it has to show some error message. So let's see this example. So look at this example. Here Kelvin to Fahrenheit. This is a function. Okay. So this inside this function I am using assert temperature greater than equal to 0. So here inside this assert, what is the condition I have given? Temperature greater than equal to 0. Okay. So only if the temperature is greater than equal to 0, then only the code will be executed. This logic will be getting executed. So in case if the temperature is having some negative value, okay, so then it has to throw the error message because the temperature should not be negative in this logic. Okay. So here the condition they have taken is always the temperature should be positive. Then only we can convert the Kelvin to Fahrenheit format. So if the temperature is negative, we cannot do this Kelvin to Fahrenheit conversion. Okay. So based on certain condition, whether it is true or false, the particular code has to be executed means you have to use the assert. Okay. So this assert which has some condition as parameter, if the condition is true, it will execute the code. If the condition is false, it will throw the user an error message. So in this case, what error message is thrown? Colder than absolute 0. Okay. So this error message is thrown to the user. Automatically the user will come to know, okay, the temperature is negative value. So we have to give the temperature as the positive value. So immediately from the message, the user comes to know how to correct that error. So that is the purpose of using assert. Okay. So this is the general syntax of assert. That is, we have seen assert keyword and followed by expression. So and these are the things that are optional. If you want to give any arguments, then you can give it. Okay. So in this part, the condition will be common. So here the condition has to be given. What is the condition? To be satisfied. So that is the syntax for assert. So when this assert is normally used means it is used for checking whether your given input is valid or not. Okay. So for that purpose, for example, here what we are, our given input should be greater than equal to 0. Then only it is a valid input. So here for checking my valid input, I have used the assert function. And in another case, to check the valid output. For example, we have a caller function. That function has created some output. Then you can use the assert function to check whether the valid output is produced by that function or not. So after this function call, you can use the assert function and you can check whether the output variable is valid or not. Okay. So assertion, it is used to check for valid input and also it is used to check for valid output that is produced by the function. Okay. So this is assertion in Python. So there are different types of errors here. So all these errors can be handled with the help of the exception classes, the corresponding error exception classes. And one more special error is assertion in Python. So this can be used to check for valid input or valid output. Okay. So based on the satisfaction of the condition, the code will be executed. Otherwise, the error is thrown. So these are the different types of errors. Now you know what are the, what type of errors can occur in your program. Normally, you know some basic type of errors that is possible to occur in your program, right? So when you are writing a program, you at least 50% you know these are the different types of errors that can occur while you are running your program. So if you know that, if you know what type of errors can occur in the program, then you can give that code. You can give that code inside the try block. So in case if any error occurs in the particular code, you want to know what type of error. Okay. So if you want to know what are the types of errors occur in the particular code means, you give the particular code inside this try block. So when you are running your program, if you have any error, then automatically that error is intimated to you in the form of message. So how this message will be given to you? With the help of except. Okay. So if you are having doubt that some errors may occur in the code, then you give that code inside a try block, and how to handle this error in case if any error occurs at the runtime means how the message or how the code should be executed, then that is given in the except block. Okay. So in this way you are handling the error. So for this, there are, for handling this error, we are using a try block and the except block. So before that, you know what is an exception. Okay. So already I shared with you, the exception is nothing but it is an event that occurs due to the error in the program. So if any error occurs, that is an event. That event is nothing but an exception. Okay. So exception is nothing but an error event. So this exception, you can call it as a Python object that represents an error. Okay. So this is nothing but an event or an object that represents the particular error. So if any error occurs, automatically this exception is raised. Okay. If any error occurs, automatically the exception will be started executing. So as you already I have explained you, right? So if you doubt that some errors may occur in your code, then that code can be given inside the try block. Okay. So if any error occurs, automatically the exception is raised, which means if any error occurs in the try block, automatically the except block will be executed. So this except block will have the code to intimate the error or to handle the error occur in your program. Okay. So that is the usage of try block and the except block. So when we are using means, if you suspect that, if you have a doubt, some error may occur in my program, then you automatically give your program or give the particular code of the program inside the try block. Okay. So let's see, this is a general syntax. So your code has to be given inside the try block, and what are the possible errors may occur. So how many errors? For example, I have a doubt that two errors may occur. One is IO error and another one is some name error may occur in my program. If I am have a doubt like that, then I have give two except classes to handle that error. So first except will handle IO error. Next except will handle name error. So like that you can give so many except block. Okay. So you, whatever the doubt that you are having, what are the possible errors that may occur in your program, so that much number of except block you can give it here to handle that error. Okay. Next, in case if no error occurs in your program, if that is the case, then what should be executed? So that is given in the else block. So except block will handle the error. Okay. So in case if there is no error in your code, okay, then you have to come and execute the else block. Okay. So if no error occurs, then what should be executed? That is given in the else block. Okay. So this is a general way of handling errors in your program with the help of exception classes. Okay. So whatever the code, if you want to handle any errors occur at the runtime, then you have to put the code inside the try block. Then whatever the errors that are possible, for that you can put except block to handle that error and the corresponding code inside that particular except block. Then if no error occurs, if you want to execute certain things, that can be given inside the else block. So this is a basic general syntax for handling an exception or the error event that occurs in your program. Okay. So there are different ways of giving exception. Let's see. First, before that, we see an example. Okay. So here I am giving the code. So in this code, what I have done is just I have opened the file for writing. Okay. I have opened the file in a write mode. So which means in case if the file exists, the existing file is opened for writing mode. Okay. And whatever I have given the content, that content is overwritten in that file. In case if the file does not exist in your system, then it will create a file and it opens the file for writing mode. So that is those are the two cases when you are opening the file in the writing mode. File exists means it will open. File doesn't exist means it will create the file and open for write operation. So, okay. So here I have opened the file. Okay. In case if the file exists, it is opening, or otherwise it is created and it is opening. Then what I have written here, this is my test file for exception handling. So this content is written into the file called test file. So here, so what may be the error comes. So I already shared, right? In case if the file does not exist, then also the error, there will be no error, right? It automatically creates an error, creates a file and open the file for writing. So there is no possibility of error here. So no error is thrown in this code, right? So in case for safety purpose, we are giving the except block for handling the IO error. Okay. So here there is no possibility for error, but in case if I have opened the file in a read mode, right? So if I have opened the file in read mode, automatically I may have an error, because if the file doesn't exist, automatically it will give you an IO error. Okay. So if one item doesn't exist, but I want to read that data means, how can I read it? So that is nothing but IO error. So if you want to try to read the non-existing data, then automatically it leads to IO error. So in this case, no error is possible because I have opened in the write mode. Okay. So automatically this code will be executed, and if no error means what this else part will be executed. So what is produced as output? This else part will be produced as output, because this content is written into this file, not on the terminal. Okay, so you can open this file and you can see the content, this one. And finally, what will be printed? Because the exception is not raised here. So written content in the file successfully. Okay, so that will be produced as output. So if this is produced as output means the else block will be executed, which means no error occurs in this code. Okay, so in the same way, if I have opened the file in read mode, okay, so here what may be the error comes? In case if the file exists, automatically the file is opened for reading. In case if the file doesn't exist, this cannot be opened for reading. Automatically the IO error will come, right? So you assume that here the file doesn't exist. Okay. So automatically the error happens because we are trying to read the non-existing file. So automatically IO error happens, that event occurs, that exception rises. So automatically it will come to the except. So where the IO error handler is there, so it will execute that part. So what will be produced as output here? Error can't find file or read data. Okay. So that will be produced as output. In case if the file does not exist. But if the file exists means no error will come here. It automatically open the file for reading mode. And what will be it is opened, it opens the file for reading mode. But we are performing write operation here, right? So if we are opening the file for read mode and we are performing write operation, is it possible in the file handling? No. So if you want to write, you have to open in the write mode. If you want to read, you have to open in the read mode. So here also error comes. So automatically this is also IO error, right? So you can't, you can't write it here. So automatically what will happen? This except part will be executed and that is produced as output. Okay. So this is a way we can handle our error, or we can come to know our error that occurs in your program. So what will happen? The programmer will automatically go to this part and make a correction in this and then execute the program successfully. So in this way, we come to know what type of error occurs in our program at the runtime. Okay, with the help of try block and except block with else block. Okay, so this except block will handle the errors occur in the try block, and this else block, when it will be executed, means if no error occurs in the try block. So in this way, the exception is handled in your code. Again, there is another variation. Again, the same try, but if you want to handle all the type of errors with the common except class, here I will handle only IO error exception. If other error occurs, means it doesn't handle, right? So if I want to handle all the exceptions in a common manner, whatever the exception arises, I will just throw the message, error message, like that. Then you can use just except without mentioning any specific exception class. Okay, if you generally use just except, which means whatever the error occurs, that while the occurrence of the error, this block will be getting executed. If no error occurs, automatically the else will be executed. So this is another way. Okay, so the except class with no specific exception mentioned. So generally you can give the except class like this, or there is another way, the except class with multiple exceptions. So you can